In moments of profound confusion, we often search for clarity, but sometimes understanding eludes us. This transformative journey through faith is beautifully encapsulated in John 13:7, where Jesus tells his disciples, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand." This powerful verse not only speaks to their immediate bewilderment, but echoes through time, inviting all believers to embrace the journey of faith even amidst uncertainty. The setting of John 13:7 is critical to appreciating its meaning. On the eve of his crucifixion, during the Last Supper, Jesus performed an act that bewildered those closest to him. He washed the feet of his disciples. This act was rife with significance, illustrating a lesson in humility and servanthood that was foreign to the disciples, who often debated their own greatness. In their eyes, the Messiah was to be a warrior, not a servant. Their shock, particularly from Peter, who questioned, "Lord, are you going to wash my feet?" reflects our own grappling with the unexpected and the unfamiliar in our spiritual journeys. To comprehend the weight of Jesus' statement, it is essential to dissect its dual meanings. Firstly, he exemplifies that greatness in the kingdom of God is rooted in serving others. This concept stands in stark contrast to earthly ambitions driven by status and power. Jesus inverted their perception of greatness, teaching them that true strength lies in kindness, leading by serving rather than by dominating. Secondly, this moment serves as a foreshadowing of his crucifixion, the ultimate act of love and sacrifice. The disciples struggled to accept the notion of a suffering Messiah. Yet Jesus knew that after his resurrection, they would understand the necessity of his pain and the profound love encapsulated in his sacrifice. As we reflect on these teachings, we too must remember that our present struggles and unanswered questions serve a greater purpose in God's plan. Just as the disciples had to wait to grasp the full significance of Jesus' actions, we too will come to understand the divine tapestry woven through our lives. In times of uncertainty, rather than succumbing to frustration, let us anchor ourselves in faith, trusting that ultimately we will understand the beauty in our circumstances. Have you ever stood at the edge of your understanding, gazing into the vastness of uncertainty? Many of us have experienced those seasons when nothing seems clear. During these times, the weight of our questions may loom large, echoing in our minds like a persistent whisper. We might find ourselves asking, "God, why am I facing this difficulty?" Or, "Why did I lose that opportunity?" Such moments can leave us feeling disoriented, like a puzzle with missing pieces. In these challenging seasons, it's essential to acknowledge that our perspective is limited. Much like Peter, who grappled with confusion and fear, we often resist what we cannot comprehend. Yet, amidst our struggles, we hear the gentle reminder of Jesus. What feels incomprehensible in the present will ultimately reveal its purpose in the future. God, with his infinite wisdom, sees the grand tapestry of our lives, while we only glimpse a single thread. Trusting God when faced with the unknown may feel daunting, but it's possible to embrace this journey with faith. First, we can surrender control, allowing ourselves to release the impulse to have every detail figured out. Just as Peter had to learn to trust beyond his understanding, we too must yield to God's greater plan and embrace his sovereignty. Second, holding on to God's promises serves as our lifeline. Romans 8:28 resonates deeply, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. This assurance reminds us that even when we walk through the valley of uncertainty, his goodness prevails. We can glean strength from these promises as we navigate our struggles. Finally, reflecting on past faithfulness can illuminate our path forward. As the disciples eventually grasped the profound truths hidden in their experiences, so too will we. One day, we will look back and recognize God's guiding hand through our trials, realizing how they shaped us into who we are meant to be. So, if today finds you amidst life's uncertainties, let the words of Christ resonate in your heart. You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand. Hold on to that promise. Trust him. One day, when the clouds lift, everything will fall into place, revealing the beauty of his purpose for your life.